boards as we're getting ready to start.
Gate City controls the opening tip. John Sally was jumping against Logan Grace, and Bradley Dean now with the basketball. He's going to go in, drives quickly, rebounded by Luke Reed, and he brings the ball out. He's going to get it back to Dean. Dean around the volleyball spike line once again as Dean works it over to Compton. Gate City with the first possession of the night. 7:40 left. No score. Compton now is going to go baseline. He's going to drive all the way in and found himself in no man's land. Tyler Tabor forced him to the line, or forced him to the ball out of bounds, and it will stay with Gate City. 7:32 left. Gate City with the basketball. Compton inbounds the basketball underneath their own goal. Gets it out to DeAndre Mack. He's around a three-point line. He's going to drive in and thinks better of it. Passes out to Dean. Dean now back to DeAndre Mack. Mack backs down Collier. Collier over to Dean once again. Dean, it seemed like they're slipping running in one area.
Who was that? Jacob Whitaker fell down on the inbound play. Dean slips and falls down, and they call him with the travel right there, and it was kind of in that same area.
7:13 left. Lehigh with their first possession of the game as they work it around. They get it up to Collier. Collier pulls up from three. The Generals lead 3-0 at the 7-minute mark here in the first quarter. Bradley Dean now with the basketball. He's going to drive, goes all the way in, and his shot is going to be altered. Blocked by Grace, and gives it up to number 4, Tyler Tabor. And here come the Generals, up 3-0. Trying to work the ball around. Tabor's got it. He kicks it over to Whitaker. Whitaker now back over to Grace for Lehigh. Again, not a lot of height on this team as they try to work it around. They're more guard-centric as they're going to give it to Collier. Collier's shot's up, no good. Rebounded by Reed. Reed kicks it up to
gives it to Compton. Compton almost pulls up for the three. Dishes off instead to Reed. Reed gives it to Dean. Dean tries to drive the baseline. Gets a little bump from Dylan Fannin. No call. They say Dean stepped out of bounds.
Yes, he did. And so into the ballgame comes your X factor, number 11, Andrew Hensley.
Joe, the officials are calling a pretty rough game right now. Sally absolutely got mugged under the Lee basket earlier with a non-call. So it'll be interesting to keep your eye on that and see how this unfolds.
As they work the ball around. Lehigh now on offense. They've got it. Jackson Collier on the right-hand side. Kicks it back up top. He gets it to Grace. Grace over to Fannin. That's Dylan Fannin who hits a three. And Lehigh leads 6-0 again. This is a pretty good Lehigh team, especially here at home. As they work it over, Hensley now pulls up from way downtown. Shots up, no good. Rebounded by Tabor. Here comes Lehigh. They're going to take it all the way in. Goes coast to coast. Lehigh opens up on an 8-0 run. And the Blue Devils are scoreless until Bradley Dean comes right in and scores in the paint. He breaks the scoring, and it's 8-2, 5:25 left here in the first quarter. Bringing the ball over will be Tyler Tabor. Tabor's got the basketball, works it over to Jackson Collier. Collier, he's going to dribble drive, goes to the baseline, and tries to work it around, and they're going to call a moving screen. That is going to
go on Grace.
I believe so.
Yep.
First foul of the night is called at 5:10 left here in the first quarter. Lehigh has jumped out. They lead the Blue Devils 8-2. David George has checked into the ball game for John Sally for the Blue Devils. John Compton with the basketball. Gets it up to Dean around the volleyball spike line. Shots up, no good. And Reed went in, and they're going to call a foul on Reed. They're going to say he hacked Jacob Whitaker. That is the Blue Devils' first foul. That comes at 4:55. Chris, we talked about Gate City jumping out to a good start. This is probably not the start that Coach Vermillion wanted.
No, it's not that they're playing particularly bad, but like case in point, inbound pass to Grace. Grace hits a wide open layup. It's 10-2 now.
As again, Gate City's got that target on him as Dean goes inside, and he's going to go up and he's going to be hacked, and that's going to get on Logan Grace.
That'll be two on him.
Two quick ones for their starting center, again, 6'3" junior, as Dean will go to the line. Again, Dean on the season shooting 83%. As His first shot's up and good. Back into the ballgame comes DeAndre Mack. He will give Reed a rest. As also coming into the ballgame will be number 20, that is Dakota Howe. And he will give Hensley a rest. Again, Howe, a great on-the-ball defender. He's going to pick up, looks like he will be guarding Tabor on this side. So here comes Lehigh. They get the ball across the timeline. Jackson Collier around the three-point line, dribbles around. They get it over to Dylan Fannin. Fannin works it back over to Whitaker. Whitaker back up to Grace. Works the ball around to get it back to Tabor. Tabor, and there's going to be an offensive foul. Chris, if that's number 35, that's going to be...
And he's come up a little gimpy, it looks like. Now they're trying to do some substitutions, but the referees haven't called that in yet.
That is going to go on number 35. That is Logan Grace.
That's 3 on him, and like I said, he's limping around pretty good right now.
Looked like a little bit of Charlie horse as just as quickly Howe goes out. Back into the ball game comes Andrew Hensley.
And Tyler Fannin's checked in for the Generals. Compton brings the ball across the timeline, looking to drive the lane. He goes up. Shot's no good, but he did draw the foul.
We're going to get that one on number 4, Tyler Tabor. 5'10" senior for Lehigh. Picks up his first. That is the team's 4th. Again, the other 3, though, on Logan Grace. As we're exactly 4 minutes left. It's 10-4, and Compton misses the first. A little bit short.
Compton shooting 61% on the season. See if he can get to 50% tonight. Shots up and good.
As coming back into the ball game will be Dakota Howe. He and Hensley sort of going offense for defense. Howe's such a great defender. And he picks up Tabor once again in the backcourt. Dean now will be guarding number 22, Jacob Whitaker, as he brings the ball across the midline. Gets it over to Jackson Collier. Collier's going to go baseline against Mack. And his shot was wild, hit the bottom of the basket.
I think he was trying to make a cross-court pass and hit the rim as Dondre Mack comes blazing in from nowhere, knocks the ball out of bounds.
Again, so it will be Howe, Mack, Dean, George, and Compton. That are the 5 for Gate City. As inbounding the basketball will be number 12, Tyler Fannin. He gets it to Tabor. Tabor being guarded by Howe once again. So try to work the ball around. They've got it out to Jacob Whitaker now. Whitaker kicks it outside over to back to Tabor. Tabor going the baseline. Shots up and rejected by George. And DeAndre Mack gets the ball now. He kicks it up to Dean. Here comes Gate City down 10-5. Shots up. Shots good by Dean. They closed within 3. It's 10-7. Lehigh, 3:10 left here in the first quarter. Working the ball over is going to be Whitaker. Whitaker got the basketball as he kicks it back up to Tabor. Tabor, again, being guarded by Howe at the top of the key.
Howe getting incredible pressure right now as the ball comes around to, can't see who that is that goes up with it. It's going to be number 10, Dylan Fannin. Shots up, shot is good.
Just as quickly as we say, here comes Compton now. Brings the ball across. He's at the three-point line. He's going to pull up from 3. Shots up, no good. And it will go out of bounds. And into the ball game for Gate City comes John Sally for David George. That substitution comes at 2:34 left here in the first quarter. And there's going to be a timeout, 30-second timeout, taken by Lehigh. And it's 12-7, 2:34 left. Chris, your thoughts again?
Gate City's kind of fallen into this pattern the last few games. They've not really gotten off to the best starts. They finally kind of get things rolling towards the end of the second quarter, into the third quarter, but it's a little worrisome, honestly. I know, everyone knows they're a better team than what they're showing. They've just got to start coming out and showing that from the tip-off.
Well, and if they, like I said, they kind of fall into that trap. Then all of a sudden, just like the other night, they had that 30-7 run on Y Central to take the lead and sort of blew the doors off of them in the second half. As just as quickly as we say that, the ball's trying to be inbounded, knocked away by DeAndre Mack. So
you can't always count on those runs, though.
No, especially if you get out of this region, you start looking at the Martinsvilles and some of these teams that they're going to face. So as ball's bringing inbounds, and it's going to be Tyler Tabor getting picked up by Howell as they come across half court. He's going to work it around. He's got it to Jacob Whitaker. He's going to kick it outside to Dylan Fannin. Fannin hits from 3, and it extends that lead back to 8. 15-7 now. Lehigh with the lead. Howell with the basketball, works it around. Got it to DeAndre Mack. Mack kicks it back up top to Dean. Dean's going to drive all the way in. His shot goes up, but he will be fouled on the play. Going to go on number 10. That is Dylan Fannin, 6-foot junior for Lehigh. 2:05 left here, first quarter. Lehigh has jumped out to a 15-7 advantage. Looks like Dean makes the shot. Coming into the ball game will be Isaac Vincent as well as Jake Taylor. Chris, you talk about sickness and everything. I don't see Starnes here tonight as well. Shots up, shots good.
And he played a heck of a game last week also. He was a major contributor to that win.
So we'll see again. Hopefully he's okay and everything's fine, and we'll see him soon. So 1:55 left, 15-9, as great defense being applied by Reed. He forced the ill-advised pass by Dylan Fannin, went out of bounds, and it goes over to Gate City. Dean with the basketball. He's being double-teamed and will be fouled. That foul will go on Jacob Whitaker.
That's already 6 fouls on Lee, so the next one will be 1-1. We're not through the first quarter yet.
As coming back in the ball game will be Hensley and Reed.
Somebody needs to check in. There's only 4 on the court. Reed comes back in.
Reed doesn't check out as Jake Taylor and Isaac Vincent come back out. So try to work the ball. I see Coach Housewright walking through the stands, not to make a side note, as with a bag of ice, so I don't know if somebody's going to be a foul assessed against Gate City on a moving screen. That's going to go against Reed.
It's going to be 2 on him now.
So like you said, Chris, we're getting to that point of the season. Bangs and bruises, and as well as the flu season. We'll have to see what's going on. So anyway, 15-9, 1:35 left here as Lehigh has led throughout.
Coach may be bringing it up here for my headache after the way tonight's gone.
As in the basketball, that's going to be Jacob Whitaker. He's being picked up by Dean. Dean kicks it back up to Tabor. Tabor now being guarded by Isaac Vincent, who's checked back into the ball game as they try to work the ball. Jake Taylor also in the ball game for Gate City as they try to work the ball. They're going to be Jackson Collier. His shot's up and good. And it is 17-9. Lehigh keeping that 8-point lead throughout the quarter as Bradley Dean now with the basketball around the volleyball line. As they're double teaming him. They work the ball over to Compton. Compton now with the basketball. Compton's going to dribble drive, go all the way in, lays it up, lays it in. Great shot by Compton. 11 points now for the Blue Devils. They trail by 6. And they're going to be a foul. I believe they're going to get a hand check maybe on Vincent. Is that right? And
I'm depending on you. I can't see the...
Well, they still don't have the correct scorers up there, so... they don't have the...
I'm going to tentatively mark that on Vincent.
So Lehigh inbounds the basketball, rejected the quick shot by Dean. Here comes Dean now. He's got the basketball with 30 seconds left. He's going to go inside, shots up, shots good by Dean, and cuts the lead. It's 17-13. Here comes Lehigh now trying to add to the lead with 20 seconds left. Gets a step, goes inside. Tyler Fannin missed the shot though, rebounded by Jake Taylor. And Gate City will hold for the last shot. 17-13, 9 seconds left. 8-7. Dean with the basketball. Almost at half court. 5, 4, 3. He's going to drive. Shots up. Shots good by Bradley Dean. And he closes within 2. So we played one quarter. Lehigh has led throughout, but the lead is only 2 now. 17-15. You're listening to the